Hi. I actually have my Dyna all loaded up with motorcycle camping gear because I have a super fun video and an event that I'm doing this weekend. So you'll see that after this. Stay tuned. But I wanted to use this opportunity. I'm not sure what is in the air, if it's a bunch of new riders that are getting into the sport, but I have been getting a ton of questions asking how to overcome anxiety and feel comfortable riding your motorcycle on the freeway. Let's get into it. I realized I didn't do a very good job explaining the beginning half of this video why my bike is all loaded up. If you are new to my channel, one of the things I do all the time is I pre-pack my bike before I go do like motorcycle camping trips or long distance motorcycle trips. And before I even leave for the trip, I always take the bike out for a test run or a dry run, basically. I just want to get acclimated to how the bike rides, how it feels all loaded down, as well as whether or not I need to repack or reconfigure my pack. So that's what I'm doing right now. Nothing crazy. This is just a kind of for fun video. And since this topic has been brought up multiple times lately, I figured I would hop on the bike and give you guys my little explanation. And first things first, I want you to know I'm not a trained professional. I am not educated in any kind of motorcycle riding or how-to classes. This is all just personal experience from an avid riding enthusiast. I also know many of you watching right now are already avid riders, and this is very, very much information that you do not need to know. But I encourage you to stick around and watch this video and maybe leave a comment down there for somebody who is trying to get over their highway anxiety. So first things first, my number one tip is I would highly encourage you to practice actually entering the highway like this. If you can locate an area close to where you live that has a cyclical on-ramp and off-ramp, that's one of the first things I did when I was practicing getting on the highway. So basically, I mean an on-ramp where you get up to speed, highway speeds, and then you kind of immediately just exit the highway, and then you loop around and do it again. And there is an area where I live where there was a continuous loop, and I did that over and over and over again until I got very good at getting up to speed quickly. And I will let you guys know I have only been riding for 7 years, and I didn't really do much highway riding until about halfway through my second year of riding. So don't feel like you have to immediately be comfortable riding on the highway. That is absolutely not the case. As always, please ride your own ride. On that subject of entering the highway, so here, I'm trying to do it in baby steps for you. We don't necessarily need to get on the highway and go, but these are just kind of some unconventional tips leading up to getting over the anxiety of riding on the highway. So the second thing is when you are hopping on whatever freeway you decide to get on, don't be afraid to twist that throttle. Give it some gas, get up to speed, maintain speed, and accelerate quickly. And I highly encourage you to get your revs up, your rev limiter. The faster and the higher you can get your revs up to their limit, the better gear you're going to be in on the highway. So one of the bad things that you can do is get on the highway slow. That's very dangerous. You are putting yourself in an even worse position than if you got on too fast. So if you can find that sweet spot for your revolutions per minute, that's going to put you in a great position being on the highway. Your motor is going to be at a comfortable feel, and it's going to ride a lot smoother. Another tip, I don't know if you've noticed me doing this, I do this pretty much all the time now. I will double up on my signals. I will double up on my indicators. If I'm about to change lanes, which I'm about to right now, I will press my indicator and I will put my hand up in the air, indicating that I am actually moving. Let everybody around you know exactly what you're doing at all times, and be obnoxious, be seen. So that's just like a little safety tip that doesn't really have anything to do with getting over anxiety on riding, but make yourself visible. If you can, obviously, I know everybody has lives and work and things you got to do, but if you can get on the highway and practice riding at highway speeds during the off hours of the day, meaning when most people are at work, or just avoid busy times, avoid rush hour traffic, avoid areas that get into accidents often, avoid stuff like that. So if you can practice being on the highway during the off hours, you're going to give yourself a lot more possibilities of getting comfortable in your own space. You get to practice which section of the lane you want to be in, and always there is no right answer to which position of the lane you want to be in. The correct answer is the position that makes you the most visible and keeps you the safest. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And then another rule I want to explain in this video, this is actually a rule I've been having to explain a lot lately. And I think it has to do with the fact that when I do ride on a motorcycle and I film these videos, the camera makes it look like I'm a lot further away from the object in front of me than I actually am. So I have to explain that, the vision of these cameras are a bit different, and it's difficult to gauge exactly how close or how much distance I have in between myself and the car or bike in front of me. But the one thing, I believe I was taught this in my Motorcycle Safety Foundation class. I can't confirm whether or not I was taught that there, but I remember vividly somebody telling me, maintain a 2-second distance. And if you're confused by what that means, so I'll use the car in front of me as an example. The car in front of me just passed that light pole. Okay? So use objects on the side of the road to kind of gauge your distance. So let's say this tree up here. He's passing the tree now, and I count to 1, 2. So as soon as a car or an object in front of you passes an indicator, count to the number 2, like proper seconds. That's the amount of distance, minimum distance, you should keep between yourself and the person in front of you. And it depends on your speed. Obviously, if I'm following somebody doing 25 miles an hour, the 2-second distance between myself and that person is going to be a lot closer because my reaction time is easier. I'm going slower, so I can stop faster. When you're doing 70 miles an hour on the highway, your distance is going to greatly extend because of the speed, how fast you're going per minute. And this is something that I do unconsciously. I 100% have no idea I'm doing this until I do it, because it has just grown on me that is the distance I am comfortable riding behind people. So when you see me not sticking up with a big group of people or riding close to the person in front of me, I don't ever leave enough room for a car to get in between and cut us off. But if a car needs to get in between and cut us off, I'm gonna make sure I have time to react and give that car room, because at the end of the day, car versus motorcycle loses. Now, those are just my tips to help kind of just give your brain something to focus on and a little bit of homework for you to do while you're practicing getting off and onto the freeway and riding on the freeway. Obviously, there's a lot more psychological emotions and events that happen when you are actively going down the highway doing 70 miles an hour next to traffic, semi-trucks and cars speeding, all that good stuff. Well, I just tried to go over there and buy a garage because I really need a new garage, an extra garage, and of course they were closed. Again, this is like the third time I've tried to go to that place and they're just closed. I guess they really don't want my money, but that's okay because we're not done talking yet. My gear is feeling really good. Like having the bike all loaded down like this feels like home. So what did I talk about so far? I talked about the 2-second rule, talked about overusing indicators, talked about getting up to speed and revving up your RPMs, talked about lane positioning, all that jazz. The one thing I have not talked about is the fact that you should always assume that there is somebody you're about to crash into. I know that's where a lot of people get their anxiety because there are just drivers and cars everywhere on the highways, but never ever change lanes or do anything until you are 150% positive that it's clear. because people are driving so fast, they're on their cell phones, they're not paying attention, and they will literally show up out of nowhere. Keep trying to even out that camera. Now, one thing I do kind of want to let you guys know that might seem counterintuitive to being confident in riding on the highway. I want to let you guys know a personal story. So as soon as I decided I was going to start taking long distance motorcycle trips, you don't just ride on the highway, you ride on the interstate. And the interstate is a wee bit different than just some normal state routes, if you know what I'm saying. So when I started taking these motorcycle trips and really experiencing interstate and multi-state travel, I started getting really comfortable with it, and I almost prefer interstate travel because it is just kind of the same old, same old. You're gonna have bad roads, you're gonna have construction, you're gonna have semis, and you're gonna have crashes. But you're also gonna have very big, wide open space to move around. You're going to have a lot of opportunities to get off on the side of the road. If you have a breakdown, you're going to have gas stations everywhere. I really enjoy interstate travel. So one time I had to get on the interstate and travel in my truck. I have a Chevy Silverado, and I was taking my truck down through a big city one time and started almost having an anxiety attack because of how bad traffic was and how congested everything was. And I was just thinking to myself, like, what the hell, dude? How are you having so much anxiety on a highway right now that you have ridden and driven hundreds of times, but you're totally fine riding a motorcycle thousands of miles out of state down interstates? Like, how? And I came to the conclusion that on a motorcycle, like, look at all this space I have around me. I can see everything. Everything is within my visibility. I can see how close my front tire is to the car in front of me and how close somebody's parked next to me. In a truck, I can't see anything. I literally just see like what's ahead of me, like 50 feet. So when I'm in a car or a truck or any kind of vehicle on the interstate, I'm freaking out. I'm not freaking out. I'm not like driving bad, but my brain is like, get away from me. You're too close. You know, like when semis drive by, I don't like it whatsoever. But on a motorcycle, I'm perfectly fine. It's such an interesting concept. So just think of it that way. Think of yourself as being smaller, which makes it easier for you to maneuver and stay safer, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, it's coming up on an entire year since I bought my Road Glide, and taking the Dyna out on these super hot summer days, this is fun. I like it. If you still find yourself struggling with riding anxiety, please leave a comment down below. Let me know some of the things that you're struggling with, and then maybe I can have a little bit more personalized feedback for you on that topic individually. I have made a couple videos on riding anxiety before. If you want to, you can check those videos out, but it comes down to practice, trusting yourself and trusting your motorcycle, because those are the only things you can count on when you're in a world of people that just don't pay attention and are actively, constantly trying to kill you. They don't know they're trying to kill you, but by being ignorant to the rules of the road, the speed limits, and just their environment around them, they are actively trying to kill you. So I hope you guys enjoyed my 5 tips on how to do better riding motorcycles on the highway. This was hopefully a short and sweet video for you. And like I said, if you're not a new rider struggling with anxiety, please leave a comment down below and give somebody else some advice that helped you, because you just have no idea how many eyes are seeing these videos and how many people you can help. If you're interested in seeing any of the other videos where I talk about mental health and riding motorcycles, you can check out that playlist right here. And until my next one, thank you guys so much for watching. You be good, and I'll see you later.